Hello, and thank you for joining us for this episode of Behind the Curtain. I'm your host, Gio Battaglia. Lots to get to today, very fun, exciting celebrities. First, get ready to bust a move because the 90s are coming back to Rochester. Some of the biggest names from that decade are hitting the stage for ROC Fest. I Love the 90s tour this Sunday. I caught up with one of the artists who helped define the soundtrack of that era, Mark Calderon from the multi-platinum group Color Me Bad, to talk about music, memories, and what fans can expect from the show.
We've been doing this show since 2015, and we've been doing it with the same lineup for years, man. I mean, it's just, the 90s era has been an amazing era. Everybody, you might be too young to know about the 90s
Just
era.
by a hair.
But your parents would know these answers. But
My sister, luckily, was a 90s baby, so it kind of trickled down from there,
there you
luckily.
go. There you go. You probably heard her music, but yeah, it was an amazing time, and people just seemed to gravitate to it. The music was great. It was party. It was a lot of dancing. It just was good times, man. And they called us to do this festival, and of course, we're always down to do it. The fans are there in Rochester for us. A lot of '90s fans, and we're always going to come out and give 110%. So we're excited to be a part of it. And of course, we love our tacos and tequila. So, we got to be a part of this thing, man. So yeah.
Of course. And honing in on that era, Color Me Bad was a huge part of the wave of R&B in the early 90s. What do you think made that sound connect so strongly with fans?
It was just the realness of it. It was just people saw the real vocals. The computer aspect of creating music hadn't connected yet. People were still, I tell you what, a lot of it was taking samples from a lot of the old school 70s and 60s music, and creating from there, which was still live music. But, we still had it with the R&B vocals, the real vocals, which a lot of the vocalists, including ourselves, had came from church, where there was real vocals, and back then when you were recording, you didn't have auto tune, you didn't have melodyne where you could fix notes here and there. You had to be able to get on that microphone and really sing. And some of the inconsistencies of recording vocals that weren't perfect makes some of the beauty of it. You know what I mean? Sometimes when it's too perfect, like the music today, it loses something, it loses the feeling.
Hmm.
And I think that that's what we had back then. When I go back and listen to a lot of the 90s music, because my ear is so trained of hearing every note so perfect now because of the way we record music, I'm like, ooh, that note is off. Ooh, but you know what? There was beauty in it. And it was special, man. And if you even go back even further to the 80s, and I mean you even hear it more, but that's something that we didn't have, and that's what made that music so special. The melodies, the samples, you bring in the hip hop beats, the harmonies that we added to those hip hop beats that people had never heard before. That was special. And, you know, it brought a lot of fun to the music. So,
For sure. And that music was obviously no doubt successful. We had I Want to Sex You Up and All for Love. They were
yeah,
everywhere,
yeah.
from radio to MTV. The music aside, what are your favorite memories from that era?
You know, just getting on stage and seeing the fans and having them perform, dancing and singing along. It's the same thing that we're seeing now. That's the great thing that I get. I still get to see that, you know. And that's what keeps me ticking. That's why I love doing what I love to do. A lot of people ask me, Mark, don't you get tired of singing those same old songs? And I say, no, I don't, because I love seeing the people dance. I love seeing people happy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I love seeing, you get people, they work their asses off throughout the week. They work hard and they get to come to a show on the weekends, forget about their everyday routine, forget about the babies, forget about the kids. They get to come go down memory lane and just enjoy the 90s music, the
Mm-hmm.
music that we created when we were kids. That's great, man. I love seeing people just have fun,
Yes.
and we get to bring that, man. What a blessing that is. We
Mm-hmm.
can't take that for granted. When
No.
you can bring something special to put a smile on people's faces and just get them away from their daily routines, they work hard. People work hard for their money. You get them away for just a little bit, for a couple of hours. It's special, man. I don't take that for granted. I love doing that. And that's one of the things that I love. And the 90s music was special. I loved performing with the guys back in the day. It was really special going to the awards, seeing our songs on the top of the charts. It was great, man. It was always what we dreamed about doing. We worked so hard, for that moment. And I can honestly say my dreams came true. So not too many people can say that.
Mm-hmm.
So I love it. It's great.
And just talk about sharing the stage with all the other acts. I mean, I love your outlook on it being a blessing and everything like that, wanting to make people feel good. So talk about how all the acts kind of bring that for the weekend.
For this weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, there's a lot of great, you have Young MC, that's a part of it. You have Tone Loc, and you have Vanilla Ice. And let me tell you what's great about those guys. First of all, growing up, those guys were big. Those guys were big in the late '80s. Okay, I was still in high school, and I used to go and party to those guys' music. I used to go to the clubs and dance to those guys' music. I tell it all the time to them. So I was a big fan of those guys, of all of this music. And so it's an honor to get to do shows with them, all of them. So I'm a big fan of all those guys, Bust a Move and Tone Loc, Funky Cole Medina, Wild Thing, and of course Vanilla Ice's big hit, I was a big fan of all their stuff. And I used to party to all their stuff, man. So it's great to be able to tour with these guys, and you get to know these guys and find out how great these guys are. It's an honor, man. It's such an honor to be with these guys. So, you know, it's so much fun. It's so much fun to be with them. Yeah, yeah. And you get to hear their music
Yes.
every other night. So, yeah, it's great.
So much fun. We are so looking forward to it. Mark, thank you so much for taking the time to talk about it. We're looking forward to a good weekend.
It's going to be a lot of fun, and people's got to come out, because I promise you, you're going to have a wonderful time. I promise you that. All right?
Sounds like it's inevitable.
Take care.
Thank you. Mark, thank you again. We are super excited for ROC Fest. I Love the 90s tour. We have all the information over on rochesterfirst.com. Coming up, the Super Trooper Lights will find you here in Rochester, how one tribute act is bringing the sparkle and shine to the Kodak Center. We'll be right back. Up next, if you remember dancing along to Dancing Queen or singing along to Mamma Mia, this one is for you as Mania, the Abba Tribute, is coming to the Kodak Center this October. They're bringing all the sparkle, fun, flair of the group. I had a chance to catch up with Melissa Harding, who plays Frida, to talk about what is in store. In here, how would you describe Mania, the Abba Tribute?
You know, what I love about the show is we are paying homage to a live ABBA concert. And I think we do it in a really fun way because we come out in the very famous, very traditional Waterloo Eurovision costumes. We start there and we pay homage to a lot of their famous looks. And it really is a not a recreation of one specific concert, but paying homage to a lot of their live performances. And so that's the really fun thing about it. So for anyone that has never had the chance to see the real band on stage do this, it really is us trying to create that for you and replicating what it would feel like to be in the room with the real band. So it's really quite fun.
And for you specifically, stepping into the shoes of Frida, one of the pop's most iconic voices, how does that feel for you and what's your approach to it?
It's such a treat. You know, I think what's so cool about ABBA, I think, is it's so far reaching. So personally, for me, I was introduced to the catalog of songs by seeing Mamma Mia on Broadway when I was 17 years old. It was the first show I ever saw on a Broadway stage. And so I didn't even know that much about these two women and these two men and the actual band themselves. So it's been really fun stepping into this part to watch them perform, watch them be interviewed, watch them actually interact not only with each other, but with fans and with their audiences. So it's a really special and unique band. It's a really unique band to get to step in and play a part of.
Every song is iconic in its own way, and everyone, I'm sure, walks in with one that they want to hear done. What's your favorite song to perform, if you can pick one, and why?
Yeah, you know, I think that was another fun thing about playing Frida is I actually didn't know which song she sang versus Agneta. And for me personally, there's two in the show that are just special to me. Not only one of them being just one of the most beautiful songs to me is Fernando. And it's a really special night or moment of the night when we say to the audience, this is a beautiful song. This next song is Fernando. And to hear them react to that, just the name of the song before we've even played it, right? The second one for me is Money Money. I think that's my favorite. I just think it is such a vibey, cool song. Every song is so good that it's actually hard, I think, for anyone to pick a favorite, even in the band. I feel like our favorites are always changing because honestly, our show is hit song after hit song after hit song. And that's just the coolest thing is this one group created so many memorable melodies and lyrics. And it's pretty amazing, you know, that it's all just from them.
I'd have to match that with Fernando. I remember seeing Here We Go Again, Mamma Mia, and Cher doing that big musical moment. And yeah, definitely hits
Good.
from there.
It's just such a great story. And I think that's the thing about ABBA's music and the catalog of songs is that it's just such relatable storytelling. And so as a singer myself, that's a treat to be able to sing such beautifully written music and such honest music and thoughtful music. There's great hooks and there's fun things to sing, but so much of the things that we say in these songs, there's really thoughtful things in there that are really beautiful. So I'm really a fan as much as I get to sing it every night, you know?
Of course. And I wanted to talk a little bit about your own personal musical background. You've worked with some big names. How has kind of that rock background with your work with 30 Seconds to Mars and other groups shaped your approach to working in Mania?
Oh, I love that question. You know, I think it's the thing I love about this show so much is that, to be honest, that 17-year-old that saw Mamma Mia on Broadway, I thought that's what I was going to do. So I thought, oh, I'm going straight to New York. I'm going to go to Broadway. And I ended up in LA in the rock music industry for many years. And this show to me is a perfect juxtaposition between those two sides of my life because this is pop music, but there's a lot of cool rock and roll edge in there. And I will say to anybody coming to see our show, we have a rockin' band. I mean, our band plays the heck out of this music, and I think that's what's so cool is there's a lot of crossover with ABBA. I think ABBA reaches pop fans as well as rock fans and country fans, and all these people can kind of gravitate towards this music because it has a little bit of something for everybody. So I think the rock background brings the part where I feel very comfortable in a concert setting. You know, I feel very comfortable on stage in a concert style show. And so it's kind of marrying that with theater, which is a really cool thing for me.
Talk a little bit about the vocal demand for the show. I know that you are also a vocal coach. So how do you keep your voice in shape for these both high energy and vocally demanding shows?
Oh, it's a great question too. You know, I think what's unique about our show is that we are in 6 different cities a week. You know, if you're on a Broadway tour and you're coming into a theater for 2 weeks, it's a little bit different, but we move every night, you know? So it is hard. It's difficult actually. It's a 2-hour show and us gals are up at the front of that stage for the whole 2 hours. So it is quite demanding. A lot of water, a lot of good sleep, you know, just really watching. I think when you step into a part like this, you start to figure out what it demands of you every night physically. And I will say, not only does it demand our voices, but it demands us to be in platform boots for 2 hours, right? Jumping around. So it's really just a lot of rest around that. And you kind of figure out how you need to save your energy for the show. But we sleep on a tour bus. You know, we stay hydrated. I'll tell you that. We stay very hydrated.
Any favorite tour moments or funny stories from the road that you can think of to share?
You know, it's funny you asked that. I had a funny moment happen this morning where we were leaving the hotel and one of the gals that worked at the hotel came running out and she said, "You're in the group, right? You're in the ABBA." And she wanted my autograph. And I thought, they do know we're not the real ABBA, right? Like, it's so sweet. But, you know, I think what's so cool about that is that a lot of people that are coming, they want to see ABBA. They love this music so much. And we're just so happy to be the ones connecting them to it. You know, I mean, that's all I can say. It's like a very sweet thing to me to see the enthusiasm for the show, and that we get to be a little part of that is just very special.
Oh, I
It's
love that. And I know
yeah.
everyone has their expectations when they come in to see the outfits and the platform boots and the songs, but what's something audiences might not realize goes into a show like this?
You know, I would say, especially for those coming to watch us, maybe they think they're coming in to sit in a theater like at a Broadway show, but we really are doing a concert. And so we want you guys to dress up. You know, we want to see your outfits and your glitter and your sparkles and your gold capes and all that. And we want you on your feet. I mean, that's the other thing is that some people coming to the show might not realize that that's actually our goal is to get the audience very involved. So right at the top of the show, within the first few songs, we're telling you, let's get up on our feet, let's get ready to dance. That's what we're here to do. And I think sometimes we make jokes about it in the show, but sometimes people are a little caught off guard by that. But I say, come ready to dance, come ready to sing. This is not just so that we can play ABBA for you, it's so that you can celebrate ABBA with us. And so I think that's the thing I want everybody to know coming into the theater.
I love it. Now, you
Yeah.
played obviously the East Coast
Mhm.
before coming in these rigid months. Have you stopped in Rochester before, and what's your favorite part in doing so?
We have. Oh my gosh. I just, anytime I get to go over to the East Coast, for me, it's all about the food. Like, I mean, everywhere we go, to be honest, everywhere I go, it's about the food. But I think what's so cool about this time of year also is it's a really beautiful time of year to be traveling around this country. And so when we get to come over to some of the, like right now we're in Wisconsin, when we get to come over to these states and we're seeing the beautiful autumn weather, like that's truly my favorite part of this time of year, going to all of these different spots is just the beautiful scenery, you know? We do a winter tour as well, but the fall is always really lovely just because we're in the fall, you know? So we're excited to get over there.
Yes, and we are excited to see the show. It's October 29th at the Kodak Center. Melissa, thank you so much for taking the time to talk about
Thank
the
you so
show.
much. Great to chat with you, Gio. We hope to see you there.
Yes, of course. Melissa, thank you again. Mania, the Abba Tribute. Melissa, thank you again. Mania, the Abba Tribute is coming to the Kodak Center October 29th. We have all those details over on our website. Up next, it may only be October, but it's never too early to get into the holiday spirit, and this new festive film is serving it up sweet. A Wisconsin Christmas Pie stars Katie LeClerc, who you may know from Switched at Birth, and Ryan Carnes from General Hospital. And again, I got to speak with them about what's in store for this film.
Hi, Gio.
Hi, how
How'd
are
you do?
you?
So
Morning.
good. How are you?
Good.
Great,
Can't
thanks.
wait to talk about this film. I watched the previews for it and everything that was supplied. I'm very excited to see the full story. Tell me a little bit about that story. What can viewers expect from A Wisconsin Christmas Pie and what makes it stand out from other holiday movies?
Oh, well, firstly, I want to say thank you so much for interviewing us, and we're so happy to be here. A Wisconsin Cherry Pie is set in Door County, Wisconsin, which I think is the first thing that makes it really unique. Wisconsin was such a special place. It was my first time to Wisconsin, and definitely my first time to Door County. And the way that the community showed up for us during filming was so I don't know, unique. I've never really experienced that.
Me
We,
neither.
set out a call for background actors and had to shut down the website almost immediately because it was like 400 people already volunteered. So, I think what was really special is the community aspect.
I would agree. Yeah, and also the fact that we got to shoot a film where it's actually set. A lot of people don't necessarily know that, but most of the time movies are not filmed where they're actually set. On occasion they are. This happened to be one of them. And I think being able to film, we couldn't have made a movie about Door County if we didn't film in Door County. It's that unique and it's that special and it has a really um just beautiful spirit that I think was absolutely crucial to the story.
I love that. Definitely shows the authenticity in the story. And Katie, your character, oh, excuse me. Katie, your character, Emma, comes home to save her family's orchard. What did you love most about stepping into her world?
I really loved the folks who played my parents, actually. Deb and Ed were really excellent actors to work with. And Ed, in particular, really embodied the cherry orchard farmer like vibe. And walking through the cherry orchards felt very, similar to my family has a small family-run business, and I found a lot of similarities in my experience and upbringing to my character Emma.
I love that. And Ryan, Mitch is that hometown sweetheart. How did you bring that charm and authenticity onto the screen?
He's such
Well,
a sweetheart already. It was
it's
easy.
easy. It's easy playing opposite Katie to bring all those things to life. I grew up in a small town. I grew up in a small town in Illinois, about an 8-hour drive south of Door County. So I'm used to living in a small, charming, rural kind of energy, and so it was nice. I was saying before that I really like stories. I have a soft spot in my heart for stories that are set in small towns because that's how I grew up. And I think it's really nice to get to connect with my roots, and it was certainly the case here in this film.
You both have done so many different projects. What makes doing a Christmas movie special or different from your other work?
You go.
It's fun. I mean, it's all fun, but doing Christmas movies is fun because everybody's in a festive mood, even though we shot it in the spring. It's like the holiday spirit's alive on set, and I think that just has a way of putting everybody into a really nice headspace, and everybody's happy and cheerful. And there's not a lot of heavy subject matter to deal with. It's light, it's fun, and we get to sort of escape the oftentimes heaviness of the world and step into an alternate world of Christmas fun and cheer.
Yeah, and I think our director has a lot to do with that too. John Stimson and I have worked together. This is my fifth film with him, and all five of them have been Christmas films. So he and I have a really nice rapport, but he really brings so much levity to the set, and just he's such a beautiful spirit. So it's a pleasure to work with him. He really sets the tone.
And there's a holiday bake-off at the center of this story. Who between the two of you is the better baker?
Yeah, Ryan. Ryan's definitely.
Hands down.
He's kidding. Okay, it's me. It's me. I'm the better baker. It's me.
Well, Katie, what about your favorite dessert for holidays?
Oh, okay. So my last name is LeClerc, and I sort of jokingly say that I'm Katie LeClerc, like a chocolate eclair. But actually, I think it should be a strawberry eclair because, so that'll be my signature. The LeClerc eclair.
That sounds great. Well, we're so excited to see the film. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk, and I really appreciate it. Mark, Melissa, Katie, and Ryan, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me for this episode of Behind the Curtain. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next week for the Halloween special. Take care.
Get the Rochester First streaming app today for everything you love from News 8 On Demand, plus exclusive shows you won't see anywhere else. Search ROC and download for free on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV.